In a quaint village, where lush fields stretched under the open sky and birdsong filled the air, lived a young man named Arjun. With his dark brown hair and sparkling eyes, Arjun was strikingly handsome, but his heart was always clouded by fear. He was painfully shy, so shy that his voice faltered when he tried to speak, his hands trembled, and his heart pounded like a drum. The villagers called him Silent Arjun, sometimes teasing him for his quiet demeanor. To Arjun, it felt like every pair of eyes was judging him, scrutinizing his every move. His shyness kept him away from village festivals, gatherings, and even his own dreams. Deep down, Arjun harbored a burning desire to become a great orator, someone whose words could touch hearts and inspire minds. But every time he thought of speaking in front of others, fear gripped him. What if I say something wrong? He wondered. What if they laugh at me? These thoughts gnawed at him, hollowing him from within. One evening, overwhelmed by his isolation, Arjun sat alone under an ancient tree at the edge of the forest, tears streaming down his face. How long will I live like this? He whispered to himself. Will I always be trapped in this cage of fear? At that moment, an elderly man approached. His white hair glowed softly in the fading light, and his face carried a serene smile. He was the village sage, known for his wisdom and ability to see into people's hearts. Why are you crying, my son? The sage asked gently. Arjun, hesitant at first, poured out his heart, his voice breaking with every word. The sage placed a comforting hand on his shoulder and said, Shyness and fear are not diseases. They are habits that can be changed. Are you ready to transform your life? A flicker of hope sparked in Arjun's eyes. He nodded, whispering, Yes, but how? The sage smiled and said, You just need to open the door to your heart. The world is not as frightening as you think. People are not your enemies. They are waiting to connect with you, if only you take the first step. The sage promised to guide Arjun through a few simple tasks over the coming days, tasks that would banish his shyness forever. Though skeptical, Arjun had nothing to lose. He agreed, his heart pounding with both fear and anticipation. The next day, as Arjun walked through the village, he noticed people glancing at him. His first instinct was to assume they were mocking him, but he remembered the sage's words. People don't think about you as much as you think they do. Gathering his courage, he approached a shopkeeper and struck up a small conversation. His voice shook, but the shopkeeper responded with kindness. Arjun was stunned. It wasn't as hard as he'd imagined. The following day, Arjun met an old farmer working in the fields. He asked the farmer about tending crops, and to his surprise, the farmer eagerly shared his knowledge, his face lighting up with pride. For the first time, Arjun realized he could bring joy to someone simply by listening and engaging. His shyness began to fade, like mist under the morning sun. On the third day, the village hosted a small event where children performed a play. Arjun, who had always avoided such gatherings, decided to stay. Mustering all his courage, he approached a child after the performance and complimented their acting. The child's mother thanked him warmly, and Arjun felt a weight lift from his heart. Maybe I'm not as flawed as I thought, he reflected. Weeks passed, and Arjun was no longer the same. He spoke freely with the villagers, laughed openly, and shared his thoughts without hesitation. His voice carried a newfound confidence. The villagers stopped calling him Silent Arjun. At the annual village meeting, Arjun did something he never thought possible. He stood before the crowd and shared his dream of becoming a great orator. His words were heartfelt, and when he finished, the crowd erupted in applause. In that moment, Arjun knew his fear was gone forever. Shyness and fear are traps created by our own minds. When we take small steps to connect with others and share our true selves, those traps dissolve. Every heart holds a shining star. It just needs a chance to shine.